employee crews ready to serve your needs, too. Garage-size buildings for under $11,000 built on your site. Visit our website at MickelspostFrameBuildings.com. Call 787-4967 or email Steve at MickelspostFrame@AOL to get your estimate. MPF Buildings, 787-4967. The Red Barn at I-90, exit 48.
Here's your Kim Radio weather forecast. Lows level off around 39 tonight under clear skies. Southwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Daytime highs approaching 69 tomorrow. Clear skies and quiet again tomorrow night. Lows level off around 41. Dry with temps well above average Friday and Saturday, and highs from the low 70s to the low 70s. That's your forecast on Kim Radio, Talk That Matters. Currently, it's 60 degrees.
This is where South Dakota sports fans come for real South Dakota sports talk. Welcome to SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown. From East River to West River, high school to college to the pros. This is your sports talk show that covers it all. And now, on Kim Radio, Talk That Matters, the host of SD Sports Buzz Tonight, here's Nate Brown.
Well, hi again, everybody. Welcome back into South Dakota's live and local sports talk show. It's Nate Brown on SD Sports Buzz Tonight here on 106.7 FM, Kim Talk Radio, and online at SDSportsBuzz.com. Live stream right there. You can watch us there, and you can also hear all interviews from tonight's show. If you miss anybody live over the next couple hours, go to SDSportsBuzz.com tomorrow. All the coaches, my guests here tonight, all those interviews will be archived right there tomorrow. You can listen to them at your own convenience. Exciting time right now. Of course, World Series Game 7 tonight. I'm at a loss of words here. I'm a huge Cubs fan, absolutely been waiting 108 years. I haven't personally, but a long enough part of my young life, still young life, I have to say. Waiting. Game 7 tonight, going to be exciting, just getting underway. And I've got to be talking football. I mean, it's just it's a conflict. It's a conflict for me, but I'm telling you, not only is it an exciting time on the national level with the World Series deal, we can't miss a show right now over the next couple of weeks. We absolutely can't miss a show, and why that is we're talking football and important football. College football getting to the end, high school football really coming down the stretch, and the Dome championships are next week. So it's an important time right now, and an absolutely huge game here in Rapid City coming up on Friday over at St. Thomas More. Let's get to the guest lineup and get you ready to go. A lot of great guests tonight, including St. Thomas More's head coach, Wayne Sullivan. Wayne is a guy that's done a great job over there for a long time, and I always point this out, that we look at program success throughout the state, and Sioux Falls is getting all the attention at the big school level, all the attention from the state championships that they're bringing in, whether it's Washington, Lincoln, Roosevelt. O'Gorman's been kind of on the outside looking in lately, but it used to be O'Gorman. And out here, St. Thomas More has been the team to the Dome 5 times. Haven't been able to bring home that state title, but they've always been right in the mix. And big part of that, I will say, one of the integral parts of it is the coaching stability, the program stability. And you can look at it team after team out in Sioux Falls. They had coaches that were there a long time, building up those programs, winning traditions. And St. Thomas More's really had that going here for quite some time under Wayne Sullivan. We'll talk to him about being in the semifinals once again in 11A, and one of the games we've been waiting for all season. I really have, as we've covered this high school football season all season. We've been waiting for St. Thomas More and Madison to match up. Madison, the defending state champs, they've been looking very, very good. They do have one blemish this year, so they actually, after losing to T, they have to come out to St. Thomas More. Otherwise, that wouldn't have been the case. So St. Thomas More gets them at home. We'll preview the game with Coach Sullivan straight ahead. Madison is a buzzsaw, there's no doubt. Running into a buzzsaw. They've been so good the last couple of years, and their head coach is Max Hodgen. what has been the story of the turnaround there. They have great athletes in the school. They're getting many of those athletes now playing football, and you can see a big turnaround. We'll talk to the head coach at Madison just straight ahead, minutes away. Max Hodgen will come up. So big preview of the 11A semifinal here tonight. Also a team nobody talking about. Nobody's looking at these guys. They're going to have a tough go this week. I get it. But how about the Spearfish Spartans at the 11AA level? They blow out Huron 47-19. I mean, I have to tell you, I was surprised by that margin of victory. I was surprised. Spearfish lost to Huron earlier in the season. It was a close game, but I thought it was going to be a battle. The Spartans just dominated that, put up 47 points, and they're now in the semifinals of 11AA, and I say they have a tough go. Well, they have to take a trip out to Harrisburg, and Harrisburg's been a team right in the mix all season long in AA. But we'll talk to the Spearfish head coach tonight and get his take on the big win over Huron, the good season this far, and how can they get it done against Harrisburg. We'll talk to Chad McCarty, head coach up in Spearfish. To the 11 AAA level, Rapid City Central and Rapid City Stevens are done for the season, but we'll recap the season with the Raiders head coach Scott Hagan tonight. He'll join me. Also, some analysis with Jason Andera, Midcoast Sports Network tonight, and Richard Anderson of the Rapid City Journal. Plus, college football season, 2 weeks left for Zach Tinker and the Hard Rockers, and they go on the road trying to snap a skid right now. It's been a tough break the last couple of weeks for the Hard Rockers. They're 5-4. They play at Colorado Mesa on Saturday. We'll get a preview with head coach of the Hard Rockers in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, Zach Tinker. That is all on tap. I start with Brown's Best. I do it every week, my high school football picks, and it's getting fun time of year. As we know, the playoffs getting down to the wire. By the way, the 11B playoffs, we've covered winner on this show quite a bit over the years. Dan Aker, the head coach out there, does a great job. I've said winner's not going to be touched. I said it all the way back at the beginning of the year, and I wasn't the only one. Many people looked at it and said, Winter dominated last year in 11B. They might dominate even more this year, and it's really been the case. They've been unbelievable, beating Tri-Valley 40-0. So they'll be in the semifinals on Saturday. So look for Winter in 11B to just keep rolling. Then into the other 11-man classes, which I want to take a look at right now. Brown's Best, the high school football games, the semifinal matchups coming up on Friday. We'll start with 11 AAA. Sioux Falls schools, and I point this out, we're not overly interested in AAA anymore because Central and Stevens are out here West River, so I just think this whole scenario, this whole deal of all these classes and everything, it really puts it into perspective where now it's basically an all Sioux Falls semifinal, and it's been that way. I hope it doesn't continue to be that way, but it has been for ever since we've gone to the 7th class the last couple of years, and you see it again. So it's Washington against O'Gorman. I take Washington there. I think O'Gorman could pull off a little bit of an upset, but I don't think so. And you've got Roosevelt playing Brandon Valley. That will be one to watch. I like Brandon Valley's opportunity to win that game, but I'll give the slight edge to Roosevelt. I think you're going to end up with the two same teams that started 1-2 in the state championship. They started 1-2 in the preseason, but they were reversed. Roosevelt was number 1 out there. Washington had high hopes as well. Washington and Roosevelt, I think, are going to make the 11 AAA state championship. AA picks. Let's get them out there. Harrisburg at home against Spearfish. Can the Spartans find more offense like they did last week against Huron? 47 points. Great performance at home in the big win over Huron for the Spartans. Now they have to go on the road. I think it's just tough. I don't think Spearfish has the athletes to match up with Harrisburg. But then you look at it, when you evaluate this, when I look at my picks, Harrisburg had a tough time with Douglas for about 3 quarters. They really did. And Douglas is one of those teams, scrappy, the term I like, you like to use with a team like that. They're scrappy, they work hard, they get after it, they tackle well, all those little things you need them to do. That's a Douglas team, so maybe that's why they were able to stick around against Harrisburg, not only this season, but last season. I still think Harrisburg is going to have more athletes. They're bigger, and they're at home. I'll take Harrisburg over Spearfish. Good luck to the Spartans on the road. We'll talk to their head coach straight ahead. And then really the team to look at, Mitchell takes on Pierre. Mitchell has been unbelievably dominant since early on. The Mitchell Colonels have been waiting with this class at Mitchell. They've had a good class for a while. Mitchell beats Pierre, I think, pretty easily in 11 AA. So as of right now, I talked about this a few weeks ago on this program, not a lot of surprises in high school football at the big level schools. Washington and Roosevelt, many people thought that may be the state title, and that's what I'm projecting. We'll see how it goes. Mitchell and Harrisburg, many people thought in AA those would be two teams. I think that's how it's going to go. And then into 11A, my favorite class this year, the most competitive class, the class with the most parity, and the two best semifinal matchups you're going to see on Friday. T is playing Del Rapids, and I'll take T, but just barely. Del Rapids took care of Sioux Falls Christian pretty easily. They've been playing really well. It wouldn't surprise me. Keep your eye on that, St. Thomas More fans and the like. Del Rapids could get it done against T. I don't think they will. I think it'll be close. T will win barely the number one seed at home over Del Rapids, and they'll await the winner of Friday night's matchup over at Dutton Field, St. Thomas More, Madison. Get there on Friday. Should be a beautiful night for football. It's going to be one of those games that St. Thomas More is going to have to play so well. They didn't play well last year against Lennox in a quarterfinal matchup. They really didn't. The Cavaliers, I think, remember that taste. A lot of these guys remember that. A few of the key guys, a year older. I think St. Thomas More is going to surprise people. I think they're going to surprise Madison with their speed on the edge. I really do. And on the interior defensive line. Madison's big. The key will be, can St. Thomas More control the interior with some speed, some stunting, some blitzing? Are they going to be able to guess right, execute the game plan? St. Thomas More is going to have to stay aggressive and make sure they cover the outside. Madison is a team that can go over the top, down the field. Can St. Thomas More be aggressive enough in the box and still with their guys on the island out at the corners? Those guys on the islands, can they guard the Madison skill players? That's the key in the game. Watch it. Madison's going to try and establish the run a little bit. I think St. Thomas More is going to go all in on stopping the run. The key will be, can they cover one-on-one in the secondary? I'm going to give the Cavaliers an edge. You knew I would. I'm going to give St. Thomas More an edge with a lot of these guys that have great experience. They know what it was like last year. They know what it's going to take. I think Madison has shown they can give up some points now. I mean, they can give up some points. You better believe it. They've turned the ball over a little bit more than they have in the past couple of years. St. Thomas More, great at creating turnovers, great at capitalizing off turnovers. I'll take St. Thomas More Friday night here in Rapid City to go to the 11A championship at the Dakota Dome next week to take on T. My picks are in. We'll analyze them and talk about the matchups with Jason and Dara. Just getting the show started tonight. SD Sports Buzz tonight, talking high school football playoffs. Let's get Jason and Dara's thoughts next. Midco Sports Network's Jason and Dara live coming up.
And 200, 2 and a quarter, 2 to the bid, 20 bomb, 50, money get 250 here, no 75, 275 now, 3.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. We can turn your property to cash. We can sell your personal property and your real estate at auction. A family business for 64 years and counting. We've sold several millions of dollars in property over the years. We're happy to consult with you on your auction plans. Let our selling experience work for you. Call McPherson Auction, 605-348-1369. Visit us on our web at McPhersonAuction.com.
Sold it here for $575.
How would you like to have your crown in 2 hours instead of 2 visits? Hi, this is Dr. Eldon Rice with Rice Area Dental in Rapid City. Technology is changing, and at Rice Area Dental, we are keeping up by using the latest state-of-the-art equipment. We offer crowns in hours instead of days. No more temporaries, no more multiple visits, no messy dental impressions, just same-day restorations.
Call us at 342-RICE. That's 342-7423. Dr. Rice Area Dental on Canyon Lake Drive, the dentist that makes you smile.
You've got it locked on South Dakota's sports talk show, SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters.
Welcome back, SD Sports Buzz Tonight. Rolling through, just getting off to a start. My picks for semifinal night are in. I don't think there's going to be a lot of surprises, at least when you look at the seeds. I'm basically taking all high seeds to win, all of them. I don't know if that's happened very often, but when you look back at action on Halloween night, you look back at all the action, 1 through 16, all the high seeds won. A little fun fact for you. I saw that. I cannot credit myself. John Krogstrand, Assistant Executive Director, South Dakota High School Activities Association, I think, tweeted that out earlier. The other night in playoff action with 9-man football, 11B, all the high seeds won. And I think that trend will continue. And I wonder if, that would obviously be the first time that's ever happened. They said that was the first time that's happened with that stretch. And now if Washington, Roosevelt, Mitchell, Harrisburg, T, St. Thomas More all win, which I picked, that would be something very, very interesting. And I wonder what this guy thinks. He's covered it all season long and continues to do so. Midco Sports Network, place you can find him from Mid-Continent. Jason Andera live on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Jason, how are you?
I am great. It's that time of year, Nate. I can't wait. I just love talking about this stuff, honestly. So it's coming to a close quickly, so we have time to talk. Let's get it on.
I did say, tonight is we can't miss any shows here. I said we can't miss any shows at all, and I know we got Game 7 of the World Series and everything, and that's all exciting too, but I said we've got to talk high school football with playoffs coming up, semifinal night Friday, and then you've got more semifinals coming up on Saturday, and then, of course, the Dome Championships next week. So here's my take on it, and I just started this out. All the high seeds have won so far. That's my take here. I want to start with you in 11 AAA. You've seen these Sioux Falls schools a lot. We basically have an all Sioux Falls semifinal. I'm counting Brandon Valley in the all Sioux Falls just being right there. So Washington, O'Gorman, Roosevelt, Brandon Valley. I think both of those games could be good. I'm wondering where you think this is going to land out. I take Washington to win. And I took Roosevelt, which would be two of the same teams people thought might be in the state championship anyway. How do you see those two games?
You know what? I agree for the most part. I think we're going to have two phenomenal games. The Washington-O'Gorman game, both teams have kind of been without their quarterback over the last couple of weeks. Both teams will have those guys back 100%, so that's good. I'm glad that there's not going to be anything hanging out there that's going to make this not the 100% healthy battle that we really hope it's going to be. So that being said, Washington is just superior at almost every position. O'Gorman will have to play the game of their life to really make it count in the fourth quarter. They've got the athletes to make some of those big plays, but I just don't think they can hang with them for 4 quarters. I agree with you there. The second game, however, Roosevelt, Brandon Valley, this is literally a coin flip game for me. Brandon Valley led in this game. They just played a couple weeks ago against Roosevelt into the fourth quarter, and they just couldn't quite handle the passing attack at the end of the game. Gave up a couple big plays to Demario Hester, a guy who is a phenomenal downfield threat for them, and he just got open on one, and that was the difference in the game. This time around, I think both teams will make a few adjustments. I think Brandon Valley could hang with them, and honestly, we have a little pick'em segment on our show with me and Jay Elson, and I'm down a point or two, so I had to pick an upset or two. So I'm going with Brandon Valley on this one, but I can't argue your pick at all, taking the Riders. I've had them right at the top all year long.
Well, and it was tough for me. I said I think Roosevelt, Brandon Valley, from what I've seen from those two teams, that's a coin flip. Like you said, I really think that game's going to be really, really good. And I think O'Gorman will stick around against Washington. Yeah. But Brandon Valley seemed like the last few weeks they've really played well. It doesn't seem like the same team that lost a couple of games early.
Yeah, I totally agree. And most of that, if you look closely, it's been special teams, really, that's accounted for 2 scores every week over the last 3 weeks, either a return touchdown, a block punt for a touchdown. And then on defense, they've had a couple defensive touchdowns, too. So that has really made that buffer, made their score look even better. Offensively, they love to run the ball, even though they've got one of the better quarterbacks in the league, in the state, I should say. So very well-balanced team across all 3 facets of the game, and I think that's why they have a shot in this one against Roosevelt.
Jason Andera on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. He's with Midco Sports Network, Varsity Sports Live. They do a great job covering high school football in South Dakota. 11 AA. Spearfish makes it to the semifinals here, and I have to tell you, and I readily admit it on this program, I didn't pick Spearfish. They had a close game against Huron earlier. They couldn't pull it off. Now they just blow them out, 47-19. When you saw that, was that a surprise out there? What was your reaction to the Spearfish win?
Well, we actually made that pick on our show too, and we picked Spearfish in that one, just for the fact that Huron's starting quarterback was out, Highland Hines, and he has been everything for that team. And when they had him, they only won by 6 points. So you minus him, I think he's worth more than 6 points. So we both bought in a Spearfish, but there's no way anybody will tell you we thought they'd win 47-17, and Jackson Bogue would go off for 5 touchdowns. A ridiculous night for that young man, and that offense of Spearfish put a hammer down, and they have got some physical players on that team from the highlights that I saw. So I'm looking forward to see if they can match up physically with Harrisburg.
How good is Harrisburg here? I mean, I see a Harrisburg team that could be very good, and then I see a Harrisburg team that let Douglas was in the game for 3 quarters. I mean, so I'm just trying to determine, does Spearfish have a shot here, or how good is Harrisburg?
You know, the key here is the first half. If you can hang with Harrisburg for the first half, which most teams really can, Harrisburg's been a second-half team, but they let Brookings hang around for 3 quarters. They let Douglas hang around for 3 quarters. The first time they played Yankton, it was tied going into halftime. This is a team that's not going to put you away most of the time. Last week, it changed that trend a little bit. They did put away Yankton after they let them get within a touchdown at halftime and really put the gas down at the end of the game. So to answer your question, how good is this Harrisburg team? Well, at their best, they're the best team in this class, but they're not always at their best, and it's going to be hard to tell. Just, you know, if Spearfish has enough to hang with this team, I don't think they probably do. I think it's going to be a case of maybe within a touchdown in halftime, and the Tigers put them away in the second half.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think Harrisburg has more athletes, more depth. I just think Harrisburg's the better team, and I don't know if Spearfish is going to be able to keep it very close, frankly. How about Mitchell Pier? Mitchell, you said it. This is a class they've been waiting for. This class at Mitchell, a lot of good athletes, great team. I don't see Mitchell having much problems with Pier.
It's interesting. Every coach I've talked to after they've played Mitchell over the last 4 weeks has said, we just got beat physically. And that is a sign of playing a really strong team that keeps getting stronger, quite frankly. This Mitchell Colonel team has turned it up in the second half of the season, and they've just played their best games over the last couple of weeks. They absolutely took care of Pier the last time around. Pier's quarterback, Peyton Zabel, a very good quarterback, played his worst game as a high school varsity player against Mitchell, but make no mistake, that's because Mitchell defensively makes you pay. They get after the quarterback quickly. I just don't think enough has changed in the last 3 weeks to see any different kind of outcome. Mitchell is definitely the better team of these two.
Pier lost to Mitchell 42-13 just a few weeks ago. Jason Andera on tonight, SD Sports Buzz tonight. He's joining us on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line with Midco Sports Network. The class I'm looking at, of course, we have a vested interest here with Rapid City St. Thomas More playing in 11A against Madison, but I think these 2 games, you might have very good matchups. Del Rapids has been coming on strong, and I don't think the Del Rapids T game is going to be heavy T. I really don't. What do you see there, T and Del Rapids? I think that could be good.
I think I'm right there with you, Nate. I talked about Del Rapids all season long. They got off to a rough start, losing 2 games early, right off the bat to Madison, and then they took a shutout to T. I think it was in the 3rd or 4th week of the season. Since then, you said it, the offense keeps getting better and better. Last 2 weeks, they kind of exploded offensively. 35 points last week against Sioux Falls Christian. Did it all on the ground. 3 different guys ran for 100 yards for Del Rapids last week. So, yeah, that's not going to be anything easy about it as far as T is concerned. But T might have the best quarterback in this class, which is saying a lot. You've got Preston Arity out there. We've seen Josh Giles put up 32 touchdowns. But Peyton Conrad, he is just a different animal at quarterback for T. He just puts this team on his shoulders. He can do it with his legs. He's the kind of guy you want on your team leading a drive to try to win a football game. And that's the reason I think they're probably a touchdown better than Delaware Rapids, but no more than that.
Yeah, I took T2 in a tight one, so we're agreeing on all games except for Roosevelt Brandon
Great
Valley
line.
right now. And here's one where I went homer on you. I think St. Thomas More has enough experienced guys in key spots that knew what it was like last year when they had a tough go in the quarterfinals. I think they have speed. The key will be, can they guard Madison through the air? Madison can throw it, and can the Cavaliers guard out there when they're on islands, because they're going to have to load it up to stop the run. That's what the Cavaliers have been focused on. I take St. Thomas More in you wouldn't call it an upset because they're the 2 seed, but I think most around the state would. What do you see, St. Thomas More, Madison? What's the big thing that Madison is so good at?
Well, they're good straight across the board. They've got 3 Yankees and combined have 30 touchdowns between the 3 of them. And he's not even their leading touchdown guy, who's Mason Layton, their receiver. So what they're so good at is you can't stop one person. There's just so many different ways they can get you, and usually they do. They are just such a fine-tuned passing team. Yes, they can run the ball a little bit, but they love to pass. And the one weakness maybe is they kind of give up a little bit on the run sometimes. They can get after you on the pass rush, but you can get them underneath a little bit if you can hit them with some draw plays. And that's kind of what T did to get back into that game against them when they were down 3 scores and ended up beating them. So it's interesting. I was exchanging emails this week with Wayne Sullivan at St. Thomas More, and he was trying to pick my brain a little bit. And I said, you know a lot better than I do what you need to do to win this game. But that's the one thing I saw is that maybe you could get Madison. And if, St. Thomas More, they like to throw the ball just as much or more than Madison. So, but I think the team that runs the ball more effectively probably ends up winning this ballgame.
Who do you take at quarterback? Who do you want at quarterback? That's a draw there, isn't it?
I gotta go with the senior. You got to go with Preston Harity. That guy. They're both exactly at 67% in their completion ratio this year, taking about the same amount of yards. Madison throws a little bit more, so they have a few more yards. But these 2 quarterbacks are dead even. But I'd take the senior. I got Preston Harity every time. And we know that St. Thomas More has the playmakers. Jake Andrew he's right up there with a Mason Layton or one of the Yankees, Jaden Yankee, Riley Yankee, Jackson Yankee. Defensively, they've got not enough credit this year goes to what the Cavaliers are doing defensively.
Yeah.
They have really stepped that up this year. People don't talk about that at all, but I think they're going to give Madison some fits defensively too. So
here's
why, guess is as good as mine on this one. I don't know.
Here's why I like the matchup, Jason, before I let you run for St. Thomas More, is in the past we've seen East River teams that like to ground and pound, whether it's West Central, whether it's Winter back in the day, even Lennox last year, they ran the double wing. So ground and pound, they'd wear St. Thomas More down, and they just grind out yards on the ground. This Madison team, I think, can run it. Like you said, they can run it, but that's not their big focus. They're trying to have a little balance, and they like throwing it. I almost feel like the Madison approach offensively plays into the hands of a St. Thomas More fast defense that maybe doesn't have to worry about getting, giving up 300 yards rushing. I think it's a better matchup for St. Thomas More that way.
Yeah, I think you're onto something, Nate. I just don't know, not seeing St. Thomas More in person, how they will do physically against the big boys that Madison has. That's another whole element of this thing. Madison has some big boys up front. So, I have no idea on this one how it's going to play out. I just hope we have an excellent game and we get to see some star power because there's a lot of stars on that field.
That's the only pick you didn't make. I mean, you don't need to offend the St. Thomas More.
Yeah, I think I would go with Madison if somebody had to get one out of me. It doesn't take too much to get one out of me. I would take Madison, but I could see it going either way. That's for sure.
I had to get it out of you. I mean, that's just the way we do it. That's just the way we do it.
You're true. Yeah, you're grilling me. Yep.
I appreciate it, Jason. Good stuff all season long, and it continues. The exciting stuff's right now. The winners go to the Dome on Friday night. Look forward to the rest of your coverage. We'll talk again here as the championships come up.
Thanks for having me, as always.
All right. Jason Andera, Midcoast Sports Network, does a great job, really does. I mean, I don't think you're going to have too many states, and I mean this, too many states around the country that puts together as good a high school football highlight show, high school football preview show as Midco Sports Network does. I mean, they do a really, really solid job. They absolutely do. He's a part of the team there. Jason Andera on the Mills Auto Body Sports line tonight. Good stuff. We come back and talk college football with Zach Tinker, the Hard Rocker head football coach. They need a big win on the road at Colorado Mesa to move their season to 6-4. We'll talk to Coach Tinker coming up. But first, Max Hodgen, the Madison head coach. We'll talk about the matchup against St. Thomas More. We'll hear from Madison first. That's next.
Your local Farm Bureau Financial Services agent Tom Berger in Rapid City realizes that farming and ranching is your livelihood, and he understands that. After all, the companies of Farm Bureau Financial Services were originally founded to serve the unique insurance and financial services needs of farmers and ranchers. Contact Farm Bureau agent Tom Berger in Rapid City to learn how he can make it simple to help you select the coverage that's right for you today and provide options for the future of your growing operation.
Call me, Tom Berger, your Farm Bureau agent in Rapid City at 348-3470.
Make the mountains your backyard. Make the lake your pool and the night sky your high-definition television. Stop by Dakota Discount RVs today and take a look at our wide variety of new and used fifth wheels, travel trailers, toy haulers, and more. We're sure you'll find something you love at a price you can afford. We take pride in our integrity and service long after the deal, so why pay more for good memories when you can buy with a comfortable, low-pressure, locally owned and operated RV dealer? At Dakota Discount RV, we can make your dreams come true at an affordable price.
3330 East Mall Drive, Rapid City.
Fall is in the air, and now is a great time to get into a pre-owned all-wheel drive vehicle with low rates and payments. Buy a 2015 Chevy Equinox all-wheel drive for $296 a month. No money down, no payments for 90 days. Buy a 2015 Chevy Cruze for $199 a month. No money down, no payments for 90 days. The largest selection of certified and used vehicles in western South Dakota. Your new road starts here. Feel the difference at Rapid Chevrolet Cadillac. Exit 60 Rapid City or online at rapidchevrolet.com.
Welcome back. It's SD Sports Buzz tonight, presented by Save-A-Lot Food Stores, East St. Patrick Street in Rapid City. The best prices on groceries in Rapid City at Save-A-Lot Food Stores. Get in today. Try all their great specials, great meat specials, steak specials every day at Save-A-Lot. You will not be disappointed, believe me. Go to Save-A-Lot Food Stores, East St. Patrick Street here in Rapid City. ST Sports Buzz tonight with Nate Brown live on 106.7 FM Kim Talk Radio and online streaming. You can watch us anywhere at sdsportsbuzz.com. We welcome you in there as well. Let's go out to Madison. Looking forward to this matchup on Friday here in Rapid City, where Madison has to make the trip to Rapid to take on St. Thomas More, a great 11A semifinal contest. It's going to be crazy at St. Thomas More. That's not a big place, by the way. That's going to be standing room only on Friday night. Head coach of the Madison Bulldogs, only one loss on the year and a tight one to T. He joins us, Max Hodgen, on the Mills Auto Body Sports Line. Coach, how are you?
Good, Nate. How you doing out there?
We're doing good. It should be a beautiful week, beautiful night coming up on Friday. I mean, we'll take it, Coach, and I know you and Coach Wayne Sullivan will probably take it too. You guys like throwing it around a little bit, and you want that 60-degree weather on November 4th, so I think we're going to be okay coming up on Friday. I want to ask you about Friday's matchup. You have one loss, Coach. One loss ends up making you go on the road in this semifinal matchup. How big of a factor is that in high school football, going on the road here Friday for your team?
Well, I mean, we're kind of in some uncharted territory. We haven't traveled out west since 2010 or 11. That's the last time we've been out there. So from a logistics standpoint, there's some planning, get the bus, the guys, where are we going to eat? Those kind of little distractions, but we're kind of on a longer week here, so, the administration does well. So we've been able to tackle those in stride, and, hopefully that, we go out without a hitch out there for our travel.
I want to ask you about that one loss back to T. What did you learn from that game that you, when you looked at the film, you looked at how that played out? It was a tight game. You ended up losing it. What did you tell your team, and what was the learning aspect of that?
Well, don't take your foot off the gas pedal when things are going good. We're up 25-0 in the second quarter. Took a breath, and the game got away from us right before half with some turnovers. And then we were in a dogfight the second half, and just came up short right there. With about 3 minutes left to go in the game, they took the lead, and we just couldn't capture that momentum back. We lost our mojo there, and penalties and turnovers. That's what really cost us. And they're a heck of a ball club. Their quarterback, he's tough to deal with when he gets in space, and that's just part of it. And so there was a little shell shock, but we regrouped, and the sun came up the next day, and we got back to practice on Monday.
Do you like the way your team reacted right after that loss? You beat Millbank, you put up 61 points, 61-22. Then you have to play Millbank right away here in the playoffs. You shut them out 43-0. You like where your team's at right now, reacting after that loss? What I mean is, loss isn't, coaches don't like losses, but sometimes they say, sometimes a loss like that wakes you up a little bit. You'd rather lose then than lose Friday, per se.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, if you're going to lose, you want to lose in the regular season and not the playoffs. We've dealt with a couple of those heartbreaking playoff losses as well. And yeah, if it's going to happen, let it happen in the regular season, and try to learn some things from that. And I think the toughest thing was dealing with some of the fan base that I talked to the following week, and it was like I'd lost a family member, and there was so much sympathy, and they didn't know what to say to me. And I'm like, hey, it's fine here. We're back at it, and everything moves ahead. But you don't want to lose in the playoffs because it's obvious it's all over then.
Yeah, and you said it could be a learning experience. Do you think, knowing the personality of this team, your players, do you think that loss did help them? Do you think it actually helped them?
I think so, yeah. I mean, last Friday night, or it would have been Thursday night, that's probably the best we've played, in quite a while. And so I'm happy that we're playing good ball right now. Not to say that we haven't played well throughout the season. It's just there's ups and downs, and, you're dealing with 16, 17-year-old boys, basically, and so there's a lot going on in their lives, and you just want to be playing good at this time of year, and I think we're doing that right now.
Couple more for Max Hodgin. He comes out Friday in a matchup everybody's looking forward to in Rapid City Friday night at St. Thomas More. It's the undefeated Cavaliers against the Madison Bulldogs, who won the state title. They've been at the top the last couple of years. Coach, you look at, you said your fan base, you guys are now used to winning. Is that really beneficial that you come in, your fans, everybody, with that mentality? That's not all the way, always the way it used to be there.
No, I mean, definitely the expectations are higher now, and it's kind of nice, for our players to feel those expectations and to set them for themselves and to have lofty goals, and it sure helped. Our fan base is supportive. They're excited, and Friday night looks like a great matchup for both of us, and it should be a heck of a night.
I look at your team now, and you like throwing it. You have some physicality, though. You're physical up front. Seems like you want to be pretty balanced too. But what's the strong point of this football team? Your football team?
I would say just from an offensive standpoint, our ability to strike quick. There's so many playmakers on offense that if we can get them the ball, if we can protect the quarterback, they have a chance to make a big play, and we've seen that this season. And then defensively, we've got a lot of speed from the linebacker and secondary, two ends that do a great job, and then two great big tackles in there. We're about 600 pounds between the two tackles. So, it's just a nice balance that we have on defense and offense and special teams.
Is there anything that makes you nervous when you look over at St. Thomas More?
They're darn right, everything. They got a heck of an offense. They spread the ball around. They're in shotgun. They're kind of similar to us in the fact that, they've got playmakers too, and I don't know the name. Your number 11 out there. Holy cow! We got to have him accounted for at all times. There's no doubt about that.
I look at this matchup, two teams that are similar. There's no question, and I wonder when you look at it, Coach, from your standpoint, does St. Thomas More speed? You talk about 11, Jake Anderud, and he's got a lot of it. Is St. Thomas More speed something that is tough to practice in practice? And a lot of teams out here anyway, and you guys have had a tough schedule. A lot of teams out here tell me, well, we just can't simulate their speed. Is that something you're concerned about?
Oh, definitely. And we talked about that tonight after practice, that everything's going to be a lot faster. When we adjust to what they do, it's just going to be so much quicker than the looks that our scout team has given us these last 3 days and tomorrow as well. But yeah, they just got to be able to try and match their intensity and speed and limit the mental mistakes and then go from there and make adjustments as the game goes on.
Coach, I'll let you run with this. One of the things that got you against T was turnovers. Is that a concern for you? Have you put the button down on turnovers, or have you turned it over a little too much this year?
Oh, I mean, it just happened in that game. It's every coach will tell you, you got to have great line play. You got to control the line of scrimmage, and you got to take care of the ball. And it sounds pretty cliche and simple, but it just boils down to that. And when you play a good team like T or this week in St. Thomas More, you've got to do the little things and you've got to execute.
Yeah, I look forward to it, Coach. Should be a lot of fun. Both teams high-flying, and both teams having great seasons. Madison head coach Max Hodgen, they've been at the top. They visit St. Thomas More on Friday. Coach, I appreciate it. Thanks. We'll see you out here.
Hey, thank you. Come down and introduce yourself. I'd like to meet you in person.
I will. I'll do that. Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it. Nice guy, great coach, has really turned around the Madison football program. Max Hodgen tonight from Madison on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. He's really got some things going there, and St. Thomas More running into a very tough opponent on Friday. You don't want to miss that game over at Dutton Field at St. Thomas More on Friday. We come back, talk college football with head coach South Dakota Mines, Zach Tinker. Can the Hard Rockers pick up a big win this weekend? We'll get the preview next.
Dale's Tire and Retreading has been providing quality brands of tires and excellent service to the Black Hills area for over 50 years. Dale's Tires sells tires for cars, trucks, SUVs, agriculture, construction, and more. Dale's Tire has what you need when you need it and offers appointment times to get you in and out faster. See the experts at Dale's Tire and Retreading. 2 convenient locations in Rapid City, 691 Deadwood Avenue and 3200 Campbell Street. Dale's Tire and Retreading. Looking for a winning team? Check out the Black Hills unbeatable tandem of Xerox and the color experts at Matheson's. Hit a home run with the Xerox Workcenter MFP today, and you'll be able to print, copy, and scan your crucial business documents and marketing materials just like the pros do. Matheson's cost per copy program is the safe play every time. You pay nothing up front for the equipment, and the high cost of supplies and repairs become a nightmare of the past. Visit the Matheson's team of Xerox All-Stars at 324 St. Joe Street, downtown Rapid City, or at Mathesons.com. Real South Dakota sports talk for real South Dakota sports fans. This is SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters.
And welcome back, SD Sports Buzz Tonight on 106.7 FM, Kim Talk Radio, and 1150 AM. Also online, streaming. You can watch the stream live video. I don't know why they, made me do live video here. I mean, I don't really dress up. You can see all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Maybe that's the good, so maybe that's the cool part of it. Live video stream at sdsportsbuzz.com, wherever you may be. You can watch the program. Also, tomorrow, all the interviews from tonight's show are archived right there. We do it every week. Archive the interviews. You can listen to everybody on your own time and at your own convenience and get plugged in on college football, high school football, everything we cover on this program. Straight ahead, we'll talk to Richard Anderson, Rapid City Journal sports writer, and Wayne Sullivan on the way. Wayne Sullivan, head coach at St. Thomas More. Semifinal matchup in high school football for St. Thomas More Friday as they get set to take on Madison. Right now, college football talk. We do it every week with the Hard Rocker Report, and we get set for South Dakota Mines at Colorado Mesa on Saturday. Hard Rockers take the trip after being at home the last couple of weeks. South Dakota Mines now 5-4. Their head coach is Zach Tinker, back on the Mills Auto Body Sports Line. Coach, how are you?
Doing awesome, Nate. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. You guys are getting set here, Coach. As this, I know the season is. You guys are so busy, so many hours. You put in a lot of time, a lot of work. We're already down to the final couple of weeks of the regular season. I'm sure it's just flying by for you and your wife, right? It's just time's flying by.
It's been a whirlwind. You know, it's amazing that we're getting here for week 10. You know, and we don't have a bye on the schedule this season, so that season you don't really have that deep breath moment. You just kind of keep going.
Yeah, no doubt. And it goes into the last 2 weeks with teams that are toward the top of the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. You guys are sitting 5-4. Give me a sense for what the feeling is of this team right now after obviously a tough one last week against Fort Lewis in OT. They were 1 point better. What's the feeling of this team right now?
You know, I think, there's certainly a little bit of disappointment that we had, that we weren't able to get a win either of these last 2 weeks. We played some pretty good football and lost 2 games, really on the last possession of the game. So anytime you take a couple like that, your team takes its knocks a little bit and certainly, collects their thoughts. But, we've had a couple of really good days of practice. We've had some really great meetings. We're prepared to go play a really talented Colorado Mesa team. They were one of the real preseason favorites, and they've played it out as such. They're having a really strong year, and we can't wait to get to Grand Junction and go take another chance at an RMAC game on the road.
You look at you referenced it the last couple of weeks. Chadron State, you lose by 4. Fort Lewis, you lose by 1. Has this been the biggest challenge for you as a head coach professionally, these 2 games that were nearly wins?
Oh, yeah. I mean, sure. Anytime you're right there and you feel like you're in a position where you think you can go win a game and you come up short, certainly that's a challenge for you. And, our team is resilient. I think a lot of people question whether or not we would be ready to go after kind of the disappointment of that shattering game because it was such an emotional game, such an intense game. And, a lot of people were asking a lot of questions. But the spirit of our team is strong. We were ready to go last week. We did some really good things. We're ready to go again this week. We can't wait to go play.
All right, let's look at it this week. South Dakota Mines is 5-4. You're at 7-2. Colorado Mesa. When you look at Colorado Mesa, they were at the top last year. The RMAC, they were right in the hunt. Obviously, they're right there again. What is it about Colorado Mesa that makes these guys so good?
Oh, they just got a lot of really talented players, Nate. I mean, when you really look at the roster. It's a deep and talented roster. You have athletes at all the positions. You see offensively, they just have a lot of guys. It's the simplest thing in the world to say they have guys that are hard to tackle. And if you don't tackle guys, they score touchdowns. And so they've scored a bunch of them. They scored 87 points last week. They scored about 65 the week before. So they're certainly a high-powered system, and they've done some really, really good things. But it's talent, Nate. I mean, they just have some really strong players and really strong personnel. And fortunately for us, so do we. So we're excited for the challenge.
I look at your offense, Coach. You put up 52 points this past week, and you said, well, maybe we weren't even as efficient on offense as even you wanted to be. How could you be more efficient? 52 points.
Well, I think the real key, Nate, is being able to feed off of the energy provided by our defense. We created 2 great turnovers on Saturday in the first half, big momentum plays, and we really basically squandered both those opportunities. We earned a field goal on the first one, but didn't get the yards we needed to go get a touchdown. And then the second time we got the turnover, we weren't able to capitalize with points either. So, when I look at what we're doing, we need to feed off of each other and create energy for each other. And the defense was providing us some really great energy early, and we didn't capitalize. So I always look at it, I feel like offensively we have some really good players. I think we've done some really good things on offense, but, I do have a pretty high expectation for what we're capable of, and I want to see us be what I would say almost perfect efficiency. It doesn't mean you score every time, but it means you don't do the things in terms of beating yourself when you have opportunities. And I think that's really what I'm talking about. It's not trying to be negative about anything. I think we've done some really good things, and I think we have a good offense. But boy, I really love the guys that we have on this team. I love what we do on offense, and I really expect us to be successful every time we take the field.
South Dakota Mines head coach Zach Tinker on tonight. Couple more, and I'll let him run. Hard Rockers are at Colorado Mesa. Colorado Mesa trying to beat South Dakota Mines and would win the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference then. Hard Rockers at 5-4, trying to get to 6-4. Marcus Sanchez, your senior wide receiver, sets a record for touchdown receptions, school record for touchdown receptions, gets up to number 17. He's been playing well. Talk about his ability.
Yeah, one of the things about Marcus Sanchez is, talking about him playing is really not quite like watching him play. And he's not a big talker. He is one of those young men that just does work. He loves to compete. He's such a competitor. He loves to play. He loves playing with his teammates. He wants to win. That's where his passion is. If you ask him how many touchdowns he has in the game, he's one of those guys who he wouldn't have the slightest idea. It's just not on his radar. We had to tell him that he set a record on Saturday. He had no idea, and a lot of guys, are driven by their individual accolades. And this young man, it seems like your very best players are not really driven by the individual accolades. And Marcus is just a competitor, and he's someone we can really rely on in this program. And I know our quarterback position trusts Marcus. We throw some of the funniest plays in practice and in games where you just look up and may say to the quarterback, well, what made you to decide to throw that ball? And it's always the same answer. Well, it's Marcus, so I just threw it. And that's the type of player you want on your team.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. A playmaker, back shoulder, over the top, whatever it is. Sanchez has been really, really good. And now Colorado Mesa, you're going to need offense. We know it. You're going to need some stops on defense. One way that Colorado Mesa has lost games, and it happened to you guys too in the loss against Chadron, they turned the ball over a lot, for example, against Black Hill State. What's the key here? What's it going to take Saturday against Mesa?
Well, I think you just said the magic words. There's really two statistics in football that really matter. It's going to be the final score on the scoreboard. That's the number one statistic that matters. And the second one, and it directly correlates to the first numbers, is the turnover battle. And if we can do a great job owning the football on offense and then create some takeaways, we've done a good job of that specifically the last couple of weeks, gotten a couple. But, boy, I'd love to see us get one of those key third, fourth quarter turnovers. If we can do that in terms of creating a turnover in the third or fourth quarter, I believe we're going to go play a very competitive Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference game on the road. They're playing for a chance at the league championship. We're playing for a chance at a winning season. Those are huge motivations for both programs, and I just think that turnover number is going to be huge. And I would also look kind of real closely at just what happens on our possessions if we're getting a first down in our first 3 plays of a possession, because typically what happens is once we get that first down, we like to find a second one, and then those build off of each other. So making sure that we're valuing our possessions when we do have the ball, because, there are going to be some plays made by the guys for Colorado Mesa because they do have some really explosive playmakers, and so they'll make a few. But I'm pretty confident the Hard Rockers are ready to make a few as well.
Interesting stuff in the RMAC, man. At Black Hill State and Dixie State, the two teams that beat Colorado Mesa, and the Hard Rockers trying to be the third. South Dakota Mines head coach Zach Tinker with his 5-4 club on the road Saturday, Grand Junction against 7-2 Colorado Mesa. Coach, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Nate. I appreciate all the support and can't wait to play this one and send these seniors out the right way.
No doubt. Looking forward to it. Last 2 weeks coming up. By the way, the Hard Rockers are at home. Speaking of seniors, Senior Day is coming up November 12th, next Saturday at O'Hara Stadium. So they get set to take on Western State. First things first, South Dakota Mines, Colorado Mesa. You can follow it online, GoRockers.com, a live web broadcast, GoRockers.com, the best place to find it for the Hard Rockers at Colorado Mesa on Saturday. We come right back and talk Spearfish football. Can the Spartans continue to defy the odds here? Can they win a semifinal matchup against Harrisburg? Chad McCarty, head coach for Spearfish, joins me live next.
Listen to what Pro Auto Care customers have to say.
You definitely can trust Tom and Carl and Chris. They are very good mechanics. They always do what's best for their customers and their customers' vehicles. They will always let you know the problems completely before they do any work on your vehicle. And since I've met Tom, I won't take my car any place but Pro Auto Care.
Pro Auto Care. Phone 342-0857, 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City.
When it comes to protecting your home and your belongings, what works for your neighbor most likely won't work for you. Insurance is personal, and that's why the coverage specialists at Fisher Rounds & Associates work with you to tailor a policy that protects your family, home, auto, and other valuable possessions at the most reasonable cost possible. We sweat the small and the big stuff, so you don't have to. That's at your service, at your side. Fisher Rounds & Associates, with offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Watertown.
In Rapid City, you've got a friend in real estate. Hi, I'm Ellen Roach. When buying or selling your home or property, Will Dixon is the man to see.
Will invites you to experience the Keller Williams culture. Whether you're buying or selling, he can assist you through the entire process with a free market analysis and advise you on all your options. Will handles all phases of real estate and has built a track record for success. Call Will Dixon at Keller Williams Black Hills, 390-1140, and let him be your friend in real estate.
Welcome back, SD Sports Buzz tonight with Nate Brown, presented by Save-A-Lot Food Stores, East St. Patrick Street here in Rapid City. Get into Save-A-Lot, discounts throughout the store on name brands and great specials on meat, steak, chicken, pork chops, all at Save-A-Lot Food Stores. And I'll tell you what, the best prices in town. Groceries, if you need them, stock up there. Save-A-Lot, East St. Patrick Street in Rapid City. Great store. We come back with Wayne Sullivan coming up, head coach at St. Thomas More, moments away. Also, Richard Anderson on tonight, Rapid City Journal sports writer. First, let's go to Spearfish. The Spartans beating Huron in a big way, 47-19 in the first round of the 11 AA playoffs, and now Spearfish battled their way to the semifinals. They're playing at Harrisburg coming up on Friday. Head coach of the Spartans is Chad McCarty, back on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Coach, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I want to get your take here, Coach. I mean, you win the game 47-19 in the first round of the playoffs, and Huron didn't have that quarterback. That was obviously a factor, but you put up so many points, put up a lot of yards, some career days there. For some guys, for you. What was your reaction of that football game?
Our O-line did a great job. The big guys took care of business up front. We've been talking about it quite a bit, and they actually got it done. They were pretty much mistake-free. We had a couple holding penalties here and there, but for the most part, they did a great job of controlling the line of scrimmage and allowing us to do some good things.
I look at your last couple of games here. Hot Springs head coach Ben Kramer said, we just got handled physically, and you beat Hot Springs back on October 20th, 21-7. He said, he told me the other day, we just got handled physically up there. They beat us down pretty good, and Hot Springs is usually a physical football team. Now you come out, you beat Huron, and you said it yourself, controlling the line of scrimmage, getting things done up front. You win it 47-19. Why is there? You think this is the most physical football team you've had up front? Is that accurate?
I don't know if they're the most physical football team, but they're definitely that. And we've got our front five starters, but the two backup guys, it's really the front seven. They're really buying in and starting to work together as a group. They're really doing a good job of working together as a group and getting after it.
When you look at it, nobody really thought that the Spearfish Spartans would be one of those teams. I would say at the beginning of the year, there wasn't a lot of people that saying, hey, I think Spearfish is going to make it to the semifinals, the 11 AA. Did you feel that?
We knew we'd be okay. We've had some great surprises with some sophomores stepping up, some of our juniors that didn't play much last year. We had some question marks. I had a feeling Jackson Bowe could do all right, but I didn't think he'd do this well. I mean, he's really come on. You know, he was Dylan Reiner's backup for 3 years. So we've had some great guys step up and do some great things. So it's been a fun year.
Have you used that at all as motivation, though? That I mean, people count you out. I mean, they really haven't been looking at Spearfish here this year.
No, and we kind of take pride in it. You know, it's one of those things where we're the underdogs, and we'll take a little pride in that. We'll own it, and we'll just get after it and try to prove a point.
It seems like it turned around a little bit. You had some wins early, but then you really got handled by St. Thomas More. After that, you've now won 3 straight. Was there a message to the team at all in that? I know you weren't as happy with that game as you should have been. You got down early and things snowballed there. What was the message to the team there to try and get things turned around?
We just talked about, championships aren't won in September. We didn't want to lose that bad, but we didn't show up to play the way we could have played. We made a lot of mistakes up front. We made a lot of mistakes defensively. So we really talked about, let's get back to work. Let's do what we do best. And even I owned up to the fact that, I didn't coach the best game I could have. And so we kind of got after it and just kind of been rolling from there.
Well, what's it feel like with this team right now? What's the feeling of this team getting set for a semifinal matchup on Friday? The confidence and the mentality right now.
I'm very excited. We've had a great couple days of practice. Guys are you can tell they're focused. It's just a little bit different feel in practice of hey, let's get after it. There's not the wonder and, well, do I go here? Do I go there? It's, hey, I go here, right? Yep, and they go get it. So, a little more excitement, a little more intensity in practice. It's been a fun week.
We're talking to Chad McCarty. He's the head coach of Spearfish. The Spartans are playing Harrisburg coming up on Friday, a semifinal matchup in 11 AA football. Joins me on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Is there more confidence? You've had some good athletes and good kids up there. I've followed it for a while. Weren't quite able to put the wins together. When you've done that this year, can you tell the confidence building on success here?
Absolutely. The more they do, it's just like that happens with college. You start winning and you start doing some things right, and then they believe they can do things right. That old adage of, success breeds success. It really does happen. I remember a few years ago when we were over. We couldn't buy a win. It didn't seem like any luck rolled our way. And this year, we get a little bit of that luck, and we'll take it.
I'll let you run with this. Harrisburg's a team, by all analysis and everything I've been told. I haven't seen them, but talking to a lot of people back East River, they say Harrisburg's a team that when they click, when they're rolling on all cylinders and they're dialed in, they might be the best team in AA, even counting Mitchell in that scenario, too. Harrisburg might be the best. They also say sometimes teams hang around, and then you never know what's going to happen. Brookings was right there. Douglas was right there for 3 quarters. What's that say to you?
It says we just got to do things right, and they're well coached. I think Coach White does a great job over there. He's done well for a while now. They've got good team speed, but I really think if we control the line of scrimmage and we put some drives together, keep the ball on the ground, and keep their offense off the field, I think we got a shot.
Do you think it is a key, though, hanging around against a team like that, just limiting your mistakes, limiting the big play, not getting your doors blown off early? That's one of those things. Do you have to try and guard against that? Do you have a specific plan?
Oh, absolutely. We talk about we're going to keep the ball on the ground and try to get some drives, just like we did last week with Huron. You get a good drive put together, it boosts that confidence of that front line, and then it carries over to the defense, and we're not putting the defense in short field position. So we're playing a little more of that chess game and taking care of the clock.
I look forward to seeing how it turns out. Spearfish is at Harrisburg in a AA semifinal matchup. Head coach of the Spartans, having a nice year, Chad McCarty. Coach, I appreciate it. Good luck to you.
All righty, thank you.
You bet. Chad McCarty tonight, giving us some time. I appreciate it. Giving us a preview. Spearfish Harrisburg on Friday. Coach McCarty live tonight on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Straight ahead, Wayne Sullivan at St. Thomas More. Still have to get the Cavalier side of that Madison matchup on Friday. We talked to Madison head coach earlier, Max Hodgen. Wayne Sullivan's on tap. But first, Scott Hagan, Rapid City Stevens head football coach. The Raiders season is done. What's the feeling like there? What's the recap? What's the evaluation of the Raiders season under Scott Hagan? Head coach Hagan joins me live next.
In 200, 2 and a quarter, 2 to the bid, 20 bomb, 50, want to get 250 here, now 75, 275, now 3.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. We can turn your property to cash. We can sell your personal property and your real estate at auction. A family business for 64 years and counting. We've sold several millions of dollars in property over the years. We're happy to consult with you on your auction plans. Let our selling experience work for you. Call McPherson Auction, 605-348-1369. Visit us on our web at McPhersonAuction.com.
Sold it here for $575.
How would you like to have your crown in 2 hours instead of 2 visits? Hi, this is Dr. Eldon Rice with Rice Area Dental in Rapid City. Technology is changing, and at Rice Area Dental, we are keeping up by using the latest state-of-the-art equipment. We offer crowns in hours instead of days. No more temporaries, no more multiple visits, no messy dental impressions, just same-day restorations.
Call us at 342-RICE. That's 342-7423. Dr. Rice Area Dental on Canyon Lake Drive, the dentist that makes you smile.
You're listening to SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters.
Welcome back. We are live. Nate Brown, SD Sports Buzz Tonight, 106.7 FM, Kim Talk Radio, and online streaming. You can watch us live at sdsportsbuzz.com. All the interviews from tonight's show archived at sdsportsbuzz.com tomorrow. So if you miss anybody live, go to sdsportsbuzz.com tomorrow. And you'll catch them right there on your own time, at your convenience. Each podcast posted tomorrow. Coming up, Richard Anderson, Rapid City Journal sports writer. Wayne Sullivan over at St. Thomas More, the huge matchup Friday against Madison. Everybody really looking at that 11A semifinal. That's going to be a big one. You may want to get there a little early over at St. Thomas More Friday. Standing room only, you better believe it. We'll talk to Coach Sullivan straight ahead. Rapid City Stevens, their season is in the books a little earlier than they wanted. For a recap, we have Scott Hagan joins us. He did it every week throughout the season. We appreciate his time. Coach Hagan of the Raiders on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
I want to ask you about, obviously, I said your season over a little earlier than you would like. You want to make a deeper run in the playoffs and things of that nature. Where's this program at, and where's this program headed? It seemed like we talked about it throughout the year. There have been strides that have been made. Where are we at right now after you wrap up 2016?
Well, I think we continue to make strides, and I think the biggest thing is we're getting more players out. This year we added some basketball players that really helped us out, like Mason Archambault and Connor King and Jacob Martin. So if we can continue to recruit those kids to come out, we can put more athletes on the field, do a few more things. So again, our biggest goal again next year is we had 76 kids out, and our goal is to hit 90 athletes, 10 through 12, and we know if we can get to that number, we should be a competitive football team.
How are you building this program? I mean, does it start? You're the high school coach. There's only so much you can do, at the lower levels and things. But how important is it in Rapid City to try and develop these high school football programs? How important are the lower levels?
Well, I think they're important, and I know one thing I have to do a better job of getting down to the lower levels, working with those coaches, because we have athletes coming in their freshman year. We're expecting them to know terminology and different things, and we're not there yet. So I know our coaching staff, we had talked about this on Saturday, that as a whole, we just have to do a better job, like I said, just getting to the lower levels, working with those kids, working with those coaches, and giving them our expectations, what we expect for kind of a building block for each level or grade that they go up in. We want them to be at certain levels.
I look at the job you've done there. I look at the job you did at Sisseton, had some success in a place that didn't have a lot of success before you got there. I wonder, has it been harder or easier than you thought it was going to be here at Stevens the last few years?
I think it's been harder. Right now, I don't think the commitment level is at the place where the Sioux Falls schools are. We're getting better every year with kids getting in the weight room, taking kids to camp. But as the commitment level increases, I think our chances at being a very good football team will increase as well.
Scott Hagan, Rapid City Stevens head football coach, on tonight, recapping the season. Talk about the things you were really happy with this year. It didn't obviously go well in your last game here in the playoffs against Washington, but talk about the things that you thought went well this year.
I thought we're very balanced offensively. I think we ended up with almost 1,700 yards passing and 1,500 yards rushing the ball. So I think our balance there was really well. We were almost, again, 52-48 throwing the ball, and sometimes when you fall behind the Sioux Falls schools, you push a little bit more to throw the ball and you get away from the running game. But I think I was really pleased with our offense. I think we ended up averaging, like 330 yards per game, which I think is anytime you can get over 300 yards per game, your offense is clicking pretty well. So we've continued to improve offensively, and I think our skill level is getting better there. And now we just kind of have to get on that defensively. We played a lot of kids that did not have any experience this year defensively, and hopefully with their experience this year, we'll continue to get better both offensively and defensively in the future.
I look at, the tough one to take, Coach, and for you, tougher than anybody, Rapid City Central loss. It was a tight game throughout. You lose that one. Then you have to go to the playoffs. You lose that one. Was that a tough way to end a season that started out, you had 3 wins out of your first 6 games there. Was that a tough way to end it? The momentum, did that momentum go away a little bit?
Well, I think it did. It really hurt the Central game the day before. We lost our starting quarterback to kind of a freak injury in a PE class and dislocated his shoulder. And so we went down to our third-string quarterback, Tegan Heckrell, who I thought did an outstanding job against Central. We had our chances to win that game. We were inside the 1-yard line twice. You can always second-guess yourself, but at the time we were like, we have a third-string quarterback in now. If we score points, we're going to put all the pressure on them, and we ended up leaving, taking points off the board, actually, if we would have just kicked some field goals. But again, there we had a backup snapper, a backup holder, and a backup kicker going. So we went for the points, didn't get them, and, that game I truly believe if George would have played, because we were limited on things we did offensively. I really think if George would have played, we probably would have put up 40-plus points, but you can always say that looking back. And again, going back, that was a tough loss for our kids. And you try to forget a loss because we were in the playoffs. You come back for practice on Friday, but that loss was lingering in their minds. And you tried to get away from it on Monday and Tuesday in practice, but you could just tell the kids were disappointed that they did not win that game.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, young guys, you know it as good as anybody, young kids, mentally fragile. I mean, up and down and momentum one day and gone the next. You think that one game like that against a Central can, overall affect the program each year?
Well, I don't think so, because we did have, like I said, we had a backup quarterback come in and did some stuff really well for us. The kids were excited about that. The younger kids building on that for the future. So it was a hard-fought game and on both sides, and I don't think the kids are going to let that game affect, as we continue to grow as a football team.
Well, you talked about it, Coach. There's momentum, you think, right now. You're getting more kids out. You're trying to get the right kids out for your football program. Rapid City, some people say Rapid City compared to Sioux Falls. Just not Rapid City's, quote unquote, not that football town. Can Rapid City be Stevens, Central? Can Rapid City be a football town here in the distant future?
Oh, I think it can. We hear some good things that are going to be happening in the community, and I just think with the investment in the athletics or sports in Rapid City, we're only going to get better. And I think that we have a good coaching staff and good support at both schools. So I think that, in the future, both schools are just going to get better. And our kids want to outwork Central, and their kids want to outwork our kids. And that's just going to make both programs better.
I'll let you run with this. Scott Hagan, head coach at Rapid City Stevens. You lose some guys, as every year. It happens all the time. But where are some spots you need to fix? Where are some spots you're going to need to fill going into next year?
Well, I think the offensive line is going to big question mark for next year. We have 5 seniors that we lost there, so I think both sides of the ball on the line, if we can get some size and strength and work hard there, I think we're going to be a better football team. The 4 years that I've been here, our skill kids have been pretty sound, and so if we can get our lines caught up to our skills, I think in the future we're going to be a better football team.
Very interesting. It always controlling the line of scrimmage. It's not.
It does.
It's not too difficult to figure out. That's where a lot of the football game starts and ends, is up front. Scott Hagan at Rapid City Stevens. Coach, sure appreciate your time all throughout the year. We'll talk to you again.
Thank you.
All right, Scott Hagan tonight on Rapid City Stevens season. The Raiders wrap it up earlier than they wanted to, a first-round loss to Sioux Falls, Washington last week. Raiders finished with 3 wins on the season, but 4 straight losses to wrap up the year. We come right back with Wayne Sullivan. St. Thomas More is undefeated. Their toughest matchup, without a doubt, Friday night against Madison. We'll preview it with Coach Wayne Sullivan next.
At Farm Bureau, we know life insurance might not be the first thing on your mind today or any other day, but we also know that deep down, everyone wants to do the right thing for their family, and that means protecting what matters most. You might not want to think about life insurance right now, but right now is the right time to talk to a Farm Bureau agent. We'll make it easy for you. Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Call me, Tom Berger, your Farm Bureau agent in Rapid City, at 348-3470.
Make the mountains your backyard. Make the lake your pool and the night sky your high-definition television. Stop by Dakota Discount RVs today and take a look at our wide variety of new and used fifth wheels, travel trailers, toy haulers, and more. We're sure you'll find something you love at a price you can afford. We take pride in our integrity and service long after the deal, so why pay more for good memories when you can buy with a comfortable, low-pressure, locally owned and operated RV dealer? At Dakota Discount RV, we can make your dreams come true at an affordable price.
3330 East Mall Drive, Rapid City.
Fall is in the air, and now is a great time to get into a pre-owned all-wheel drive vehicle with low rates and payments. Buy a 2015 Chevy Equinox all-wheel drive for $296 a month. No money down, no payments for 90 days. Buy a 2015 Chevy Cruze for $199 a month. No money down, no payments for 90 days. The largest selection of certified and used vehicles in western South Dakota. Your new road starts here. Feel the difference at Rapid Chevrolet Cadillac. Exit 60 Rapid City or online at RapidChevrolet.com.
Dale's Tire and Retreading has been providing quality brands of tires and excellent service to the Black Hills area for over 50 years. Dale's Tires sells tires for cars, trucks, SUVs, agriculture, construction, and more. Dale's Tire has what you need when you need it and offers appointment times to get you in and out faster. See the experts at Dale's Tire and Retreading. 2 convenient locations in Rapid City, 691 Deadwood Avenue and 3200 Campbell Street. Dale's Tire and Retreading.
Welcome back. SD Sports Buzz tonight, live on 106.7 FM, Kim Talk Radio, and online at SDSportsBuzz.com. Live stream right there. We welcome you in. Busy show tonight, as you would expect. Exciting time of year. High school football playoffs, getting in the nitty-gritty. I'll tell you what, semifinal night, Friday night, and a big matchup we're focusing on. Friday night at Dutton Field, St. Thomas More at home against Madison. We talked to Madison head coach Max Hodgen earlier tonight, got that perspective. And now for the Cavaliers, undefeated this season, ranked the second seed. They're the second seed, and they get to host Madison. Their head coach is Wayne Sullivan on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Coach, how are you?
Oh, fantastic. Greatest time of the year right now.
It is, and I want to say, is this, the program's developed so much since the start where, a lot of people don't quite remember, when you guys first started out, it was a tough go. You had to stay with it, build it. Now it's just playoffs every year, deep into the playoffs a lot of the times. What's that expectation like as you reach it? I mean, you're not at your goal yet, but what's the feeling like being in the semifinal game Friday for this team?
Well, as a coach, I mean, that's what you coach for. That's why you're in it. Other than, you want to make sure the boys are good young men when it's all done, and that's the number one goal. And I think that really helps our program because we have great guys that come back to speak to our guys. And the guys look up to the older ones, and so they want to be the one that, eventually wins it. I mean, if we're fortunate enough to play our best ball and make it to the Dome for the 7th time in our program, that would be amazing. But, we've got Madison coming into town, and we're going to focus on the next 48 minutes. I'm
not going to talk about the Dome or anything, but that state championship's been right there. You've been on the verge. You've been there. This year's team is one of those teams that could make that run for you. Do you feel like this Madison team coming to your place, do you feel like getting them at home is an advantage for you?
Oh, anytime. Anytime you can play at home under your own lights, on your own grass, sleep in your own bed, have the same routine that you do all year, definitely. Home field advantage is always a key. We're not on the bus for 5 hours, and, that's tough to play on the road. And Madison, again, a quality team, as they've been in the Dome for the last couple of years and won a state title last year. They've got a heck of a program, and what a best way to, see where you're at in your program to play the best. And we're very fortunate to have probably one of the best teams in the state coming in.
Yeah, it's going to be standing room only, I think. I've been telling everybody, get there early. It should be a beautiful night for football on Friday at Dutton Field at St. Thomas More. Madison's head coach, Max Hodgen, told me, everything about St. Thomas More makes me nervous. Just look at him and said, what makes you nervous about St. Thomas More? Hey, everything. I mean, they got a lot of things over there. What makes you nervous about Madison?
Well, you first got to look at their athletes. One of the best things they ever did was bringing on their basketball coach on the coaching staff. Now every kid walking them halls is going to play football and basketball. And so they're very, very athletic. And, of course, they're big up front. Whatever they're doing in the water over there, I should have them bring me some and get some big dudes like they've got, because they've got some ponies and big guys up front. They platoon. They got over 65 kids out for football, which is amazing for a Class A team. And they've got, they got it going on. And that bodes well for the coaching staff and for the town. And they get behind that high school, and I'm sure they're going to travel very well.
From the X's and O's standpoint, this is a team that actually wants to pass it. When you look at their numbers, they want to pass it. And Coach Hodgen said, we want to strike quickly. We want the big play. That's what they feed off of. I look at it from an X's and O's standpoint. What do you see that you really have to be dialed in on?
Well, here's the deal. I mean, it's those that are going to come watch this game, it's going to be an exciting game, I feel. It's like looking in a mirror. They run the same set. They run the same type of plays we run. We are a fast break offense. Same with us. We want to get the ball in our guys' hand, and we want to score and score often. We're not going to be the 2, 3 yard, 4 yards cloud of dust. Here we are. We're going to find that mismatch. We're going to find an opening. And one of the things we try and preach to our kids all year is whatever they give us defensively, they're going to be wrong. We're going to come up. We're going to check out of something. If we need to check to something that's going to be open, we're going to try and get there. And that's what's going to be fun about this game, because you're going to see a lot of spread offense, a lot of the ball thrown around. This could be a 4-hour game. It's going to be exciting, but I tell you what, the ball is going to be in the air.
Yeah, it looks that way when you look at the numbers, no doubt. St. Thomas More head coach Wayne Sullivan on tonight. The Friday semifinal matchup, one everybody's looking at, St. Thomas More Madison on Friday. Here's what I want to ask you. You look at Madison here, and they've been a team, like you said, they'll throw it, they'll spread you out, they'll do that. That's what you guys do. In the past, Coach, and you know this, you've had trouble on the defensive side a lot of times with the double wing, the ground and pound, whether it was Lennox last year, Winter, West Central going back many years. This team doesn't quite run that. Is that a good thing at all? Do you match up better, is what I'm saying, on the edge here?
Well, and again, you're exactly right. From the Aberdeen-Ron College to the Howards to West Central, I mean, most of those teams they're all wing tee teams, and it has evolved though. Very few wing tees are left. You got Winter, who does a phenomenal job. Aker is the man, as evident by what he's done. Del Rapids is the last wing tee team left, I believe, in the A. T runs some of that, but he incorporates a lot of the option out of it. But one of the things that I know with us in Madison, same thing. They're going to spread it out. We're going to throw it around. We still got to stop the run. I mean, they got a heck of a guy back there, number 31. He is a man. They're big up front. And like you stated earlier in the show, we got to execute. We got to, if our defensive scheme is to get to a certain gap, we got to get there and we got to control that gap and we got to finish. One of the things that they are very good at is they break tackles. They run hard. The quarterback knows, hey, I'm going to give my guy a chance. I'm going to put it out there, and my guy's going to go get it. So we've really, really worked on, defense, trying to get to the ball, knock it out if possible, make that tackle. If they make 7, 8, 9, 10 yards, then wrap up and let's go again and see what happens. So it's about the little things. We got to stop their pass. We got to stop their run. I like the fact that our defense goes a lot against our offense a lot. So they see a lot what we're going to see on Friday night.
I look at it. I asked Madison about this. They feel like they might have a tough time simulating your speed. Coach Hodgins said it's just going to be faster than what we can do from our scout look. Is that the same side for you? Same thing?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we're not blessed with 90 kids and we can have our ones going against our twos all the time. But I've been very impressed with our scout team this week. We've got a heck of a freshman crew and sophomore crew that has been giving us a great look. But a lot of it, too, when we go Indy, we can do our one-on-ones and ones-on-twos, and so we've been trying to simulate that. I've had a couple coaches tell me this year that's probably the toughest part is simulating our speed, and we are blessed with it. I mean, we've got guys all over the field that can run, and as evident by our state championship in track, and that's going to be what we're going to try to exploit. We're going to try and get some guys in space and let them do their thing.
Coach, you said this might be one of the faster teams you've had. I mean, but I look at last year, you even had faster guys, I would argue, on the outside at skill spots. You had even some faster guys. Are you talking about speed in the trenches? Is that where you're quicker?
Definitely. This line, that we put together this year, we graduated 4 incredible linemen last year. They were bigger. They were good up front as far as being physical. But we are faster on both offensive and defensive line. So a lot of times we tell them offensively, give us a little crack, give us a little seam. Get into your guy, move your feet. You might not dominate him physically, but, if you can just get him turned, we'll get our guys through there. Defensively, though, probably one of the fastest defenses we've had. And, again, what's nice about that is 7 of them are juniors, and they are very fast, physical. And I will talk about our defensive ends. We've got 2 DNs that I don't know of any team, and I've watched a lot of football, a lot of, Midco, and watched a lot of other guys in the States. We have 2 very fast defensive ends coming off the edge.
Yeah, no doubt. I look at the matchup. Have you seen anybody pass it this year? You haven't faced anybody that passes it like Madison, right?
Exactly, no. They passed when they had to, or they tried to open it up, and that's where we've been able to unleash our DNs. But, again, they do a great job of having that tailback run underneath ends that rush up. I've seen a couple film where, other teams have tried that. We're going to have to be very disciplined and wrap up, but we have not seen a passing team like Madison. So, it's like I said, if people are going to come, they're going to get their $7 worth, because this is going to be a long game.
No, it'll be fun. I like throwing it around a little bit. I kind of like doing that, just like you. By the way, a little extended interview with Coach here. We got a big matchup Friday. Last question. You guys are the 2 seed. You're undefeated. I feel like it seems like you're the underdog, but I'm not sure on that.
Oh, yeah. Always the underdog. And that's what's nice. Again, until we win a state title, when you're 0 for 6, people still, there they are again. We've been called the bridesmaid. We've been called, it's like kissing your sister. I mean, one away Wayne. I've heard that so many times. But you know what? It's all about these guys that have worked extremely hard. And I tell them all week, we're the underdog. The big, bad East River team's coming over. But again, it's going to be how much heart we have. And if we can execute, we got to do the little things. Like you said, we can't give the ball. We can't get turnovers. And we got to stop that pass game and run game. And if we can do those things, and I told them, you get us around where we're hanging around, and then all of a sudden, we get a team into waters that they're not used to, then maybe we can get that break. Maybe we can get what it takes. So we've been working on that.
I look forward to seeing it Friday. Everybody's excited about it. Great matchup, really fun matchup. Maybe one of the bigger ones we've seen in the semifinals at St. Thomas More in quite some time. Madison comes in, the defending state champs, head coach of the Cavaliers. Undefeated this year, Coach. We'll see you Friday. Wayne Sullivan, thanks.
Thanks, Nate. Appreciate you having me on.
All right, Wayne Sullivan tonight. Good to talk to him. Wanted to go a little bit longer with Coach tonight. That's a big game on Friday. Really looking forward to it. And I say that because, St. Thomas More has had some really, really interesting semifinal matchups. Most of them have been over at O'Hara Stadium at the School of Mines. And I think of the Parkston matchup a few years ago. Just unbelievable heartbreaker at the end. I mean, just an unbelievable ending to that game. They've been in some big semifinal games, but not for a while have they been played at St. Thomas More's Field. And that'll be a environment there. Not a lot of seats, not a lot of area, but the fans will be right on the field. I mean, it'll be a packed house. It'll be a great night for Friday Night Football. Should be a lot of fun. We'll break it down a little bit, that game and more, with Richard Anderson, sports writer for the Rapid City Journal, joins me live next.
Looking for a winning team? Check out the Black Hills Unbeatable Tandem of Xerox and the color experts at Matheson's. Hit a home run with a Xerox Workcenter MFP today, and you'll be able to print, copy, and scan your crucial business documents and marketing materials just like the pros do. Matheson's cost per copy program is the safe play every time. You pay nothing up front for the equipment, and the high cost of supplies and repairs become a nightmare of the past. Visit the Matheson's team of Xerox All-Stars at 324 St. Joe Street, downtown Rapid City, or at Mathesons.com.
In Rapid City, you've got a friend in real estate. Hi, I'm Ellen Roach. When buying or selling your home or property, Will Dixon is the man to see.
Will invites you to experience the Keller Williams culture. Whether you're buying or selling, he can assist you through the entire process with a free market analysis and advise you on all your options. Will handles all phases of real estate and has built a track record for success. Call Will Dixon at Keller Williams Black Hills, 390-1140, and let him be your friend in real estate.
Your sports, your show. This is SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters. When it comes to shopping for a used vehicle, you can find good, you can find reliable, and you can find affordable. But it isn't too often that you find all three in one vehicle, except when you shop at Pro Auto Care. At Pro Auto Care, all vehicles are inspected and serviced on-site by ASE certified auto technicians, so you know your vehicle will be reliable. And they're affordable, too, many priced under $4,000. Check them out at Pro Auto Care, 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City, 342-0857.
Welcome back. It is SD Sports Buzz tonight. It's Nate Brown, live 106.7 FM Kim Talk Radio and online streaming at sdsportsbuzz.com. A reminder, for all the interviews of tonight's show, archived, you can go to sdsportsbuzz.com tomorrow. All the interviews will be posted right there in podcast form. A busy show tonight. High school football playoffs been one of the major focuses, and a big matchup at St. Thomas More on Friday night. We'll talk to Richard Anderson about it all. Richard Anderson, writer for the Rapid City Journal on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Rich, how are you?
I'm doing well, Nate. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I got a question. I mean, you're kind of, I don't know if you're an excitable guy or not. I mean, are you excited here? I mean, this is a fun time of year, right? I mean, you got to be excited for the semifinal matchup coming up on Friday.
Well, I don't know how excitable I am because I am an old man now. I can't get too excited.
I'm trying to get you excited, you know.
But if I am going to get excited, it is about this game. It should be really fun. It's anytime these two type of caliber of teams play, you know, you can't help it. I mean, hopefully the game amounts to the build-up.
Well, I'm trying to build it up too. I mean, we're really building this up. I look at it though, St. Thomas More, Madison. I haven't had the opportunity to see Madison this year. Looked at them last year. This is a team that's just a lot of good athletes. I mean, a team that's a program that's really, really gotten good. And I wonder what you think. Can St. Thomas More, in your opinion, match up here Friday night?
Well, you know, I think they can, and I think one of the reasons they can is because the Cavalier defense is, you know, as good as I've seen it in my about 5 years that I've been back. It's going to have to be because, you know, they give up, STM gives up 7 points a game, but there's no way this is going to be a 7-6 game or 8-7 game or whatever you want. They're still going to score. These two teams know how to put points on the board, and, you know, it's just going to be a matter of which team makes more stops.
You know what this game reminds me of, and I can't remember if you were back then this time or not. I believe so, but this game reminds me, you don't have to go back too far, semifinal matchup, Parkston, St. Thomas More at O'Hara Stadium. Everybody said Parkston was the team. They were the guys. They had, you know, Reif, and he was a big-time player, and Dvorak and all these guys on that Parkston team. Nobody was giving St. Thomas More a chance, including your former colleague, Patrick Duffy, on this program. I just have to point that out. And he said, it's Parkston. I don't see it. And I was one of the only guys that said, no, I think St. Thomas More, well, they were a play away from winning that.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that game. And, you know, that's the kind of game I think we'll get up. And one of the things I think it's going to be interesting is the game, you know, is not at O'Hara Stadium this year. So, you know,
and that makes a difference. I do believe at St. Thomas More, it's I do believe the home field advantage does make a little difference.
It does. I mean, you're home. You're used to playing on your field in front of your fans in the stands. It's going to be packed. You know, it's kind of what it's all about. And even though they're just driving down the road to O'Hare in the past, you know, on a slicker field, which is great for the offense, it's almost like it's a not quite of a home field advantage. So this should be good.
Richard Anderson, Rapid City Journal sports writer, will be. You can see the coverage of this. St. Thomas More, Madison with the Rapid City Journal. I want to tell you. So you said you think it's going to be close. Did I get that out of you? Did I get that feeling? Because that's what it reminds me of. Parkston, St. Thomas More, which I thought was going to be close, and I gave St. Thomas More the edge. They couldn't pull it out a few years ago. You think this is going to be close? Everybody back East River thinks Madison, I think, pretty easily, actually.
Yeah. Well, you know, and you really can't blame them because of their history and of the history of East River versus West River. But, you know, anytime you think probably what's going to happen, it's going to be the opposite. You know, if they think it's going to be a blowout, then I think it'll probably be close. So, you know, I mean, you know, it's just a matter of execution. Just like I'm not a coach, but I've listened to a lot of them, and you know, they talk about execution, ball control, and turnovers. So, you know, I think it's very, very relevant in this game.
Well, here's the thing, and I've said it tonight, Rich. I've said it on this program a lot. Here's why I like the matchup specifically is this isn't your old East River versus West River thing where St. Thomas More has had a problem against ground and pound, really physical, double wing teams. They've had that problem. Madison I think they can be physical. They can run it. That's not their number one focus. I just like the matchup from a scheme-to-scheme standpoint a lot better than I liked the Winners and the West Centrals, for example.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Madison can run the ball, but I think both of these offenses are pretty similar, and so basically that means these defenses have gone against it. So I know that Madison's gonna go out and throw the ball. They've done it all year. I mean, they've proven, and it should be a wide open game. Throughout all the defenses, and of course I'm going to write about STM's defense this year, so it'll probably be about a 36-34 game. So
yeah,
that's usually the way it goes.
Well, that's the thing. If you're going to focus on the defense, yeah, that's how that'll turn out. By the way, are you covering the game Friday night? Are we going to get the Richard Anderson special here?
Yeah, they're going to let me out of my cage just a little bit, yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, the question, you'll be able to get in there, right? I mean, we got that all cleared up, right?
Yeah, yeah, we do, and that was... that was something that I wish wouldn't have happened, and that was something I wish I wouldn't have got involved with, but we got this all cleared up. Yeah.
It's okay, very good, very good. I'm just going to tell you, just come with me, man. We'll get you in there, okay? I'll get you in there. I'll put you up on top of the gym. You'll have a great view.
Yeah. I might have a hard time getting up there. I might not be able to get down.
We don't want that either. We don't want workman's comp, believe me. We don't want to start that. By the way, Rapid City, St. Thomas More is the only team left, Rich. We know that. Spearfish, who, when it comes to the Black Hills, they're playing on Friday. I don't know if that's a great matchup for them. What do you think of that matchup, Spearfish-Harrisburg? I think that's a tough go for them if Harrisburg plays well.
Well, it is, and it's. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Spearfish has been so up and down. I mean, let's face it, they've been playing pretty darn good at times this year, and sometimes they just haven't been very good. I think they're playing a lot better this year. I mean this the last couple of games, obviously, because they're still going. It's a tough one. That drive out there for them is tough on anybody, just like it'll be tough on somebody coming out here. But I think they can hang with them, but they can't let the game get out of control. They can't see them down 20 points and